As you let your body grow heavier against the place where you rest, you feel the edges of the day slowly melt away, dissolving into a quiet darkness that feels gentle and familiar. Your breath softens, becoming slower, calmer, almost like the rise and fall of a small wave drifting across a peaceful sea. And somewhere in that stillness, a thought begins to glow. Soft, curious, unhurried. What if Earth, the world that holds every memory you've ever known, was part of a cosmic experiment? Not an experiment in a cold or clinical sense, but something tender, something shaped by ancient minds who drift through the universe like quiet caretakers of distant stars. You do not need to believe this idea. You only need to relax into it, letting it unfold around you like a warm, starlit dream. You picture Earth as it appears from a great distance, a small and glowing sphere suspended in a vast black ocean. It turns slowly, so slowly, wrapped in thin layers of cloud and light. Oceans shimmer with deep blues, continents breathe with forests and deserts and mountains, and everything, every detail, looks as though it has been crafted by a patient and gentle hand. In this imagined universe, far above the reach of telescopes, ancient beings watch the Earth turn. Their attention is not heavy or intrusive. It feels like the way sunlight falls on a quiet garden, soft, steady, unjudging. They observe the way life grows, the way patterns form, the way existence unfolds into something endlessly surprising. You imagine these beings drifting in a place where time moves differently, stretched into long, soothing currents. Their awareness is slow and peaceful, like someone watching ripples on a pond. They do not interfere with Earth. They do not push or pull its story. They simply witness the experiment as it naturally evolves. And as you let yourself slip deeper into that idea, you might feel that same slow patience settling into your own breath. You might sense your muscles loosening, your thoughts stretching into longer, softer shapes. Perhaps these beings have been observing Earth since the moment it cooled from molten rock, watching as oceans formed and rain fell for the first time. They saw the earliest forms of life appear like tiny sparks, barely noticeable, yet full of potential. They watched life spread, split, grow, wander. They watched forests rise. They watched the first creatures lift themselves from the sea. And they saw, eventually, human beings emerge with minds capable of wonder, capable of imagining the very beings who might be watching them now. In this dreamlike scenario, nothing is rushed. The entire history of Earth is like a long, beautiful breath, expanding and settling over billions of years. You begin to imagine that these watchers appreciate Earth the way an artist appreciates a slowly developing painting. They don't know exactly how it will turn out, but that is the beauty of the experiment. Life blossoms on its own terms, creating symphonies of color and movement and thought. They watch the migration of birds across the sky, the drifting of continents, the swirling of storms, the way humanity builds and learns and remembers. And somehow, in this quiet imagining, you feel yourself part of that unfolding too, as if your own life is one small thread in a tapestry that stretches across the whole planet. As the idea settles deeper, the world around you becomes softer still. Your breath drifts into a slower rhythm, matching the gentle turning of the Earth in your imagination. You picture these cosmic observers not as distant or superior, but as calm presences who admire life with a kind of affection that feels warm and safe. They understand that every creature on Earth is part of something delicate and precious. They understand that growth takes time, that harmony comes in gentle waves, that consciousness blooms like a flower opening in slow motion. And in this soft perspective, you begin to feel a sense of permission to rest, to slow down, to let go of the weight you carried through the day. You imagine them noticing the smallest moments, a single child laughing, a leaf drifting to the ground, the glow of city lights at night, the hush that spreads across landscapes when people sleep. These moments collectively become the pulse of the experiment, the quiet heartbeat of Earth's story. And as you breathe out, you feel yourself becoming part of that quiet heartbeat, steady and calm. You are not separate from the Earth in this dream. You are woven into it, supported by it, held gently by the same forces that carry oceans and mountains and clouds. The idea grows softer still. What if the purpose of this cosmic experiment is simply to observe how life expresses itself when given freedom, warmth, water, and time? What if the experiment is meant to explore the shapes that kindness can take, the forms that intelligence can assume, the unexpected beauty that arises when countless small lives move together through millennia? This thought sinks into you like warm sand, grounding you, easing you, comforting you. You do not have to do anything. You only have to drift, to breathe, to let the story wash over you like a slow tide. As you float deeper into this imagination, the cosmos feels vast and quiet, an endless expanse that holds the Earth like a glowing gem cupped in ancient hands. And within that gem, you feel yourself gently settling, as though the universe itself is whispering a kind reassurance. You are part of something wondrous, something unfolding, something allowed to grow at its own pace. Nothing is hurried, nothing is forced. Everything, including you, is simply evolving within the soft glow of cosmic attention. The night grows quieter around you. Your thoughts drift like small boats on calm water. You feel your body sinking a little heavier, as though gravity itself has become more tender, more welcoming. And as this first part of the journey draws toward its resting point, you sense the watchers still, peaceful and unblinking, observing Earth with endless patience. They notice the silence of this moment too, the moment where you begin to drift closer to sleep, where the lines of your day blur and soften, where the experiment continues gently without you needing to stay awake for it. In this softness, you allow yourself to surrender to the quiet, to sink, to drift. As the darkness around you grows even softer, you feel yourself drifting deeper into the quiet space between thoughts, a place where everything slows down and the boundaries of your imagination become gentle and fluid. The idea of Earth as a cosmic experiment continues to unfold, not in sharp lines, but in calm, flowing currents. You sense the watchers still, lingering far beyond the stars, their presence steady and serene. They observe not from superiority, but from a deep fascination with how life expresses itself on this small blue planet. And as you breathe in, you feel that fascination brushing lightly against you, almost like a warm breeze moving through the room. You begin to imagine how these watchers perceive time. For them, the unfolding of life on Earth is like watching a flower blossom in slow motion over eons. They see the rise of continents not as violent shifts, but as graceful movements, land masses drifting like floating islands across an endless cosmic sea. They watch glaciers breathe in and out over the ages, expanding and retreating, shaping valleys and smoothing stone with patient strokes. Each transformation is meaningful to them, each change a subtle part of the grand experiment that Earth has become. Their awareness drifts gently across millennia, observing without urgency, simply noticing how life adapts and transforms. You imagine them observing early life with a soft sense of wonder, tiny cells dividing, shifting, learning how to survive in a world that was still cooling and settling. They watch life try and fail and try again, each failure a necessary step, each success a quiet spark in the long tapestry of Earth's evolution. As you picture this, you feel your breath deepen, aligning with the slow rhythm of that ancient patience. You may feel your arms growing heavier, your eyelids warmer, as though part of you is settling into the same unhurried pace. Over long stretches of imagined time, you see life become more complex. You picture plants covering the world in green waves, reaching towards sunlight with an instinct older than memory. You picture creatures crawling from the seas, blinking at the brightness above, taking their first trembling steps into a new phase of existence. The watchers observe these moments with gentle attention, their thoughts slow and expansive, stretching over centuries. They admire how life experiments with form, with movement, with awareness. They notice patterns you might never consider, the subtle dance of ecosystems, the way one species adapts in response to another, the delicate balance that allows all things to coexist. As you float deeper into this idea, you begin to imagine the watchers noticing humanity as it begins its own quiet rise, not with alarm or judgment, but with a kind of warm curiosity, as though they are watching a child discover its first words. They see sparks of consciousness growing brighter, minds forming questions, hands shaping tools, hearts learning connection. They watch small communities become villages, villages become cities, and cities become networks of light slowly spreading across the planet. In their eyes, this too is part of the experiment, the emergence of a species capable of reflection, capable of dreaming, capable of wondering about its own origins. You imagine that these watchers feel a soft admiration when they observe the way humans build stories, paint images, create music, and form bonds with one another. They notice moments of compassion, moments where a single act of kindness ripples outward like a warm wave. They notice how people share warmth, comfort each other, and reach out to help even when no one is watching. In their perspective, these small gestures shine brighter than any city light, illuminating the experiment with quiet yet extraordinary beauty. As you envision this, your breath may become even slower, as though your body understands that nothing needs to rush here. You drift deeper into the idea that Earth's experiment is not about tests or measurements, but about observing the natural evolution of life and consciousness. Humans, in this dreamlike scenario, are simply one expression of that evolution. The watchers listen to the hum of human thoughts in a broad, diffuse way, sensing trends rather than individuals. They feel the ebb and flow of emotions across the world, the shifting balance between struggle and peace, the gentle awakening of deeper understanding. And somehow, in imagining their awareness, you begin to feel more connected to the quiet pulse of the earth beneath you. You allow yourself to drift even farther into this sense of belonging, as if the watcher's gentle attention extends to you, not to study you, but simply to acknowledge your place in the unfolding story. You feel a subtle warmth in your chest, an unspoken reassurance that you are part of something vast and ongoing. The experiment does not demand anything from you. It does not require you to change or strive or prove yourself. It simply invites you to exist, to breathe, to rest within the rhythm of life that has been moving through the earth for billions of years. The idea becomes softer still as your body sinks deeper into relaxation. You sense the watchers moving slowly, their presence drifting like faint constellations across the darkness. They continue to observe the earth turning beneath them, night flowing into day, day into night, in a calm and endless loop. They take comfort in the steadiness of it, the predictable rhythm that has continued since long before human memory. They watch oceans rising and falling, winds carrying whispers across continents, the planet breathing in ways that mirror the gentle rise and fall of your own chest. Somewhere in this quiet expanse, you sense a tender understanding. Earth, in this imagined experiment, is allowed to be imperfect, evolving at its own pace, discovering its own harmony through countless small adjustments. And you, resting within this experiment, are also allowed to be imperfect. You are allowed to soften, to release the tension you've carried, to rest without expectation. Nothing in this imagined universe hurries you. Everything encourages stillness, warmth, and ease. You float in this awareness, feeling yourself becoming lighter in your mind and heavier in your body, as though sinking into the gentle gravity of sleep. The watchers fade slightly into the background, not disappearing, but becoming part of the soft hum of the cosmos around you. Their observation continues as peacefully as ever, steady and unwavering, as the earth turns slowly beneath them. And within that turning world, within that quiet experiment, you let your thoughts drift into longer spaces, into softer shapes, preparing to slip into an even deeper calm as the journey continues. As you drift deeper into the quiet space of your imagination, the sense of time around you stretches gently, becoming looser, softer, almost as if you're floating in a warm current that carries you effortlessly forward. The watchers, those ancient beings observing Earth from far beyond the reach of light, remain present in a calm, distant way, their awareness steady as they continue to witness the slow unfolding of the cosmic experiment. You sense their attention touching the planet, the way moonlight touches the surface of a still lake, softly, without disturbing anything, simply illuminating what already exists. And as their presence rests upon the earth, you let yourself sink a little further into your pillow, into your breath, into the gentle rhythm of this unfolding story. You imagine how these beings observe human emotions, not individually, but as broad waves moving across the planet. Joy rises like warm currents. Fear flickers like cool breezes. Curiosity glows like tiny lanterns scattered everywhere. They see these emotional currents weaving through humanity, shaping choices, shaping stories, shaping the way people connect with one another. To them, these patterns are beautiful, intricate and delicate, constantly shifting, yet always part of a deeper harmony. They watch these emotional waves with the same serenity with which they observe the rotation of planets or the drift of galaxies, seeing in them the signs of life learning to understand itself. As you follow this idea, you feel your own emotions softening. The tensions of your day loosen slightly, as though they too are simply small movements within the larger tide of life. You may begin to notice your breath flowing more easily, each inhale smooth, and unhurried, each exhale releasing a little more weight. In this imagined universe, the watchers understand that everything on Earth, including the struggles, including the uncertainties, are part of the natural evolution of consciousness. Nothing is wasted, nothing is ignored. Everything contributes to the slow, expansive unfolding of the experiment. You picture them observing the quiet moments humans rarely notice themselves. A person pausing to listen to rain against a window. Someone comforting a friend. The hush of a morning before the world awakens. These moments shimmer faintly in their awareness, like soft ripples traveling across a calm surface. They see how even the smallest acts of compassion create subtle shifts in the emotional landscape of the planet. They see how a gentle word, a shared smile, a quiet breath can ease the tension of entire communities without anyone realizing it. In the eyes of the watchers, these tiny sparks of kindness are among the brightest aspects of the experiment, glowing softly in the vastness of time. As you imagine this, you might feel a sense of warmth blooming low in your chest, a tender acknowledgement that your own quiet moments matter, even the moments you never thought about again, even the ones that felt insignificant at the time. In this dreamlike perspective, the simple act of existing, breathing, caring, wondering, contributes to the gentle evolution the watchers admire. And that thought brings with it a deeper calm, one that settles into your muscles and your heartbeat, encouraging them to slow, to rest, to drift. You imagine the watchers turning their attention from the emotional patterns of humanity to the broader rhythms of the earth itself. They notice how seasons unfold with a predictable grace, how the planet breathes through cycles of warmth and cold, growth and rest. They watch oceans shifting with tides, carrying ancient whispers through the deep. They observe forests stretching toward the light, growing in ways that seem almost intentional, almost conscious. It is all part of the experiment, life responding to its environment, shaping it, being shaped by it, learning subtle lessons that unfold over millennia. You begin to sense how deeply interconnected everything on Earth feels from this distant vantage point. The watchers see connections that humans rarely glimpse. The way a tree responds to the presence of another tree miles away. The way the migration of birds influences the blooming of flowers. The way human emotion affects the health of the planet in tiny, delicate ways. They witness these connections with a tranquil fascination, observing how life weaves itself into a single, unified tapestry. And as you imagine these invisible threads, you may feel your own body relaxing further, as though recognizing that you too are part of that tapestry, supported by it, carried gently within it. This thought leads you deeper into the calm, and you imagine the watchers reflecting on how humans have come to understand their own place on Earth. You picture them observing the moments when people look up at the night sky, wondering where they came from, what they are, why they exist. These moments glow softly, like candles scattered across the planet. When humans contemplate their origins, the watchers sense a quiet alignment, a resonance between the experiment and the observers. It is as though these ancient beings feel a faint echo of their own curiosity reflected back to them in human thought. And that echo brings them a kind of peaceful satisfaction, a gentle affirmation that the experiment is unfolding beautifully. You drift deeper as you imagine this, feeling your mind soften around the edges, your thoughts stretching out like slow-moving clouds. The watchers, floating in the vastness of space, continue their silent observation, seeing the earth turn beneath them with a quiet pride. They do not control the experiment. They do not intervene. They simply witness life learning, evolving, expanding, becoming more aware. And within that slow, endless unfolding, they notice you, not as an individual identity, but as a warm presence, a glowing part of the larger whole. You feel your body sinking even further into stillness, as though gravity has become softer, gentler, welcoming you deeper into rest. The watchers seem to recede slightly, not disappearing, but drifting into a peaceful background hum, their attention steady and comforting. The idea of Earth as a cosmic experiment becomes warmer, more familiar, wrapping around you like a soft blanket. You feel yourself becoming quieter inside, as if preparing to slip into an even deeper layer of calm as the journey continues. As you drift further into the gentle darkness behind your closed eyes, you begin to sense the world around you fading into a soft blur, as if the edges of reality are dissolving into something quieter, warmer, more spacious. Your breath continues its slow rise and fall, matching the calm rhythm of the imagined universe unfolding before you. The watchers remain somewhere far above, serene and patient, their presence steady like a distant glow that never flickers. They hover at a vantage point where they can observe the earth with a calm, timeless curiosity, never interfering, never altering the course of life, simply witnessing the slow, beautiful unfolding of the cosmic experiment. You imagine them drifting in the silence of space, where distances stretch endlessly and time moves like a gentle tide. Their awareness rests on Earth, not sharply, but softly, like a hand hovering just above a surface without touching it. In their quiet observation, they sense the internal rhythms of the planet, the deep rumbling of tectonic plates, the whisper of wind across deserts, the heartbeat-like pulse of waves striking ancient shores. They feel all of it as part of a single living organism, a world breathing through cycles of creation and rest. As you picture this, your own breathing seems to align with those planetary rhythms, as though your body recognizes something familiar in the slow, natural movements of the Earth. You begin to imagine the watchers turning their gaze toward human civilization, observing how cultures rise and fade like soft patterns appearing and dissolving on the surface of flowing water. They see humanity's creativity as one of the most fascinating elements of the experiment. The way people build, invent, imagine, and express themselves in countless forms. They notice the shimmering lights of cities, like clusters of fireflies, glowing gently in the darkness, each light a sign of life unfolding. You imagine these watchers listening, not to words, but to the energetic hum of human dreams, dreams that fill the night like a shimmering veil, drifting through the minds of millions. They sense hopes, stories, fears, longings, all woven together into a soft tapestry that stretches across the globe. In their perception, this collective dreaming is one of the strongest signs of Earth's complexity. It shows that life here is not just surviving, but expanding into realms of imagination. And as you think of this, you might feel your own thoughts loosening, becoming lighter, drifting like feathers on a slow wind. The watchers observe how humans seek meaning in their existence, how they search for purpose and connection. They see people gazing up at the same stars that stretch above the watchers themselves, wondering if anyone is out there, wondering what the universe holds. In these moments, the watchers feel an echo, a resonance that makes the experiment even more compelling. For in those questions, the quiet wondering, the internal reaching, they see a spark of awareness that touches something deep in the fabric of the cosmos. It is as though humanity is slowly discovering the same curiosity that shaped these watchers long ago. As you let this idea drift through your mind, you feel your body sinking deeper into comfort, as if the mattress beneath you is absorbing every bit of tension you carried. The watchers, in your imagination, observe Earth with a sense of tenderness, almost admiration. They witness both the harmony and the conflict, knowing that every movement, even the difficult ones, plays a role in the unfolding of consciousness. The experiment, to them, is not about perfection. It is about the richness of experience, the way life continues to adapt, the way awareness continues to deepen with each new generation. You imagine these ancient beings noticing the quiet beauty that humans often overlook, the way sunlight filters through leaves, the way snow settles gently on rooftops, the calm glow of early morning before the world stirs. They see how the planet offers endless moments of stillness, moments that humans can enter whenever they pause long enough to breathe and notice. These watchers appreciate those tiny pauses, seeing them as windows through which life can reflect on itself. And as you imagine these quiet moments being witnessed from afar, your own inner landscape becomes quieter too, like a lake settling after a long day of wind. You drift deeper into the thought that you too are part of the experiment, not as a subject being tested, but as a thread woven into the fabric of Earth's unfolding story. Your thoughts, your feelings, your quiet moments of rest, they all contribute to the soft hum of life the watchers observe. This realization wraps around you gently, like a blanket of warm night air, inviting you to relax even more. There is nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to change. You are simply here, existing within a vast, ongoing creation, allowed to rest without expectation. As the watchers continue their silent observation, you imagine them sensing the gradual settling of the planet into nighttime calm. Lights dim in cities. The hum of activity slows. Millions of people drift towards sleep, each one adding to the gentle wave of stillness spreading across continents. The watchers feel this shift like a soft exhale from the earth itself, a moment of collective rest. And as they perceive this calm, you feel yourself sinking deeper into your own stillness, carried by that same global quiet. You picture the earth turning slowly beneath their gaze, wrapped in the thin glow of its atmosphere. The watcher's awareness follows the curve of the planet, gliding effortlessly across oceans and mountains, drifting over sleeping towns and wide, silent fields. Everything feels gentle, connected, peaceful. You feel your own consciousness merging with that quiet flow, preparing to drift even further into rest as the experiment continues its long, graceful unfolding. As you drift deeper into the quiet warmth of this imagined universe, the sense of separation between yourself and the world around you begins to soften even more. The edges of your thoughts become gentler, like waves smoothing themselves against a calm shoreline. The watchers remain high above, wrapped in their slow, luminous awareness, drifting through the vast expanse of space as they continue to observe the unfolding of the earth with patient fascination. Their attention feels softer than ever now, like a presence that exists only to witness. never to intrude, a distant kindness that rests on the planet the way starlight rests on a still pond. You imagine them watching humanity move through the centuries, noticing patterns that rise and fall like the breath of a sleeping world. They see moments where people come together, moments where ideas blossom, moments where understanding deepens across entire cultures. They see how humanity slowly learns to care for one another, to share resources, to protect their home, to move toward kindness even when the path feels tangled. From their distant vantage point, the watchers observe all of this as signs that the experiment continues to grow in complexity and beauty. As you follow this gentle flow of thought, you may feel your body sinking more deeply into rest, the muscles in your face loosening, the space between your breaths stretching peacefully. You imagine that the watchers can sense the emotional texture of the planet, sometimes bright, sometimes shadowed, always shifting. They know that life on Earth is intricate, full of contrast, full of lessons that cannot be rushed. And because of this, they hold a deep respect for the resilience of the species living there, especially humans, who continue to reach upward even when the world feels heavy. In their eyes, this persistent reaching is one of the most beautiful aspects of the experiment. You picture them drifting above the planet as evening spreads across one hemisphere, a soft ripple of darkness moving gently over forests and oceans. Lights flicker on in cities like tiny stars awakening on the surface of the Earth. The watchers observe this transition from day to night with the same calm reverence they feel for all cycles. They notice how the planet hums differently when night settles, how the energy of the world lowers into a quieter frequency, how sleep spreads across millions of beings like a soft wave. In their perception, this nightly descent into rest is not merely biological. It is part of the Earth's natural rhythm, a necessary balancing of all the activity that fills the daylight hours. As you breathe out, you might feel yourself drifting into that same rhythm, carried by the gentle tempo of the planet's quiet nighttime. The watchers observe the way dreams rise within sleeping minds, creating landscapes of memory, imagination, and emotion. They cannot see the details of individual dreams, but they can sense the shifting patterns, the warmth of comfort, the release of old tension, the deep, reflective stillness that sleep provides. To them, dreams are one of the most fascinating elements of the experiment, for they reveal how consciousness continues to explore even when the body rests. You imagine the watchers sensing the collective dreaming of humanity as a vast, shimmering field of energy. Each dream adds a soft glow, faint but meaningful, contributing to a larger tapestry. They find beauty in the way humans process their experiences in sleep, weaving stories that help them grow, heal, and understand. This too is part of the evolution they observe, the inward expansion that complements the outward growth of civilization. And as you imagine these beings noticing the gentle movement of dreams across the world, you may feel a deeper calm settling into your body, as though your own inner landscape is preparing for its own quiet journey. The watchers drift slowly in their luminous space, observing how Earth's experiment has grown more intricate with each passing era. They sense the interconnectedness of all things, the way one action ripples outward, the way one moment of compassion can influence countless unseen threads. They recognize that even the smallest choices made by individuals contribute to the evolution of the whole. And as their awareness touches these connections, you may feel a faint, comforting sense that your presence too is woven into something larger, something gentle and purposeful, even if that purpose is simply to exist, to breathe, to rest. You imagine them observing the deep time of Earth, the long sweep of ages, the rise and fall of countless forms of life. They have witnessed eras the human mind can barely grasp, and yet their attention remains steady, patient, almost affectionate. They marvel at how life adapts, how it transforms itself after every challenge, how it continues to emerge in new shapes and new possibilities. To them, Earth is a place of endless creativity, a world that experiments with life in every corner: deserts, oceans, mountains, forests. And humanity is just one of those many beautiful expressions. As your body continues to sink deeper into calm, you feel the Watcher's presence almost blending with the darkness around you, becoming part of the soft hum of imagination. They observe the Earth rotating through another night, glowing faintly under the stars, holding all its life in a tender balance. You sense yourself drifting with the planet, moving with its slow, steady spin, as if you are part of the same gentle motion. Your breath matches that slow turning, each inhale and exhale syncing with the quiet rhythm of the world beneath you. And in this imagined universe, everything feels safe, steady, and unhurried. The Watchers continue their silent vigil. The Earth continues its graceful rotation, and you continue to drift into a deeper, softer state of rest, ready to float further as the story unfolds. As you sink more deeply into the quiet space around you, the sense of the Watchers in the distance becomes even softer, almost like a gentle hum far beyond the edge of hearing. They remain there, drifting through the vast, star-filled expanse, observing the Earth with the same unhurried patience that has guided them for ages beyond counting. Their attention rests lightly on the planet, a calm presence that never presses, never intrudes, only witnesses. And as their awareness settles gently over the world, you feel your own breath falling into an even slower rhythm, perfectly in tune with the peaceful unfolding of this imagined universe. You imagine the Watchers sensing the subtle vibrations of life across the Earth, the tiny pulses of movement and energy that ripple through every forest, every ocean, every sleeping city. They observe how the planet glows faintly under the night sky, wrapped in its thin veil of atmosphere, holding its warmth close like a soft blanket. They see the lights of towns shimmering in clusters, like small constellations scattered across the land. These lights to them are signs of life's curiosity, its desire to reach into the darkness and shape meaning from it. The Watchers admire this gentle glow, knowing it represents countless beings seeking connection, comfort, and understanding. As you follow their perspective, you feel yourself drifting deeper into stillness. You imagine the Watchers turning their attention toward the quieter parts of the planet, the vast, dark oceans where waves move in long, steady breaths, the deep forests where creatures sleep nestled beneath leaves, the snowy expanses where silence stretches endlessly, crisp and pure. They observe these places with a deep appreciation, sensing the balance they bring to the ever-shifting rhythms of life. Even in this imagined universe, the Watchers understand that rest is as essential to the experiment as growth. You begin to picture the watchers reflecting on how life is constantly changing, reshaping itself with every season, every birth, every passing moment. They notice how patterns that once seemed permanent gradually soften and transform, how the world renews itself again and again through cycles both grand and subtle. This continual renewal fascinates them, for it shows that the experiment is alive, vibrant, always moving toward new expressions. As you imagine this, your own body feels renewed in its quiet way, your breath smoothing into a steady, peaceful flow that carries away the remnants of tension lingering in your mind. You imagine the watchers focusing gently on individual acts of care happening across the planet. Someone preparing a meal for another, someone wrapping a blanket around a child, someone sitting beside a friend who simply needs company. These small acts, though invisible from space, create ripples the watchers can sense, soft waves of warmth spreading through the fabric of the experiment. They see how kindness binds humanity together, how compassion brings balance to moments of uncertainty. And as you picture these gentle actions, you might feel a soft warmth spreading through your own chest, reminding you that even the quietest forms of care have meaning. The watchers drift in their slow, luminous vessel, observing how humanity dreams not only in sleep, but also in waking life. They see aspirations forming like distant sparks, hopes for peace, hopes for understanding, hopes for better days. They sense how these dreams shape the direction of human civilization, guiding it through periods of confusion and clarity. In their timeless perception, every dream matters, every longing contributes to the unfolding story of the earth. And as you imagine this, your own dreams feel lighter, less pressured, as though they too are part of a gentle, ongoing process that doesn't need to be rushed. You imagine the watchers sensing the passage of time as a soft, endless river. For them, the rise and fall of empires is only a slight ripple. The growth of a forest is a slow unfurling. A human lifetime is a brief but brilliant spark. Yet each of these moments holds meaning. Each contributes to the greater whole. They admire the richness of this timeline, the way life constantly discovers new ways to express itself. And as your mind drifts along this imagined river of time, you feel your own thoughts stretching into longer, smoother lines, flowing without urgency toward rest. You begin to sense the watchers turning their attention toward the inner world of humanity, not in a way that invades privacy, but in a broad sense, observing how humans reflect on themselves, how they ask questions about purpose, origin, and connection. This introspection fascinates the watchers, for it shows that the experiment has reached a stage where life is becoming aware of its own unfolding. They sense this growing awareness like a faint glow spreading through the fabric of the earth, expanding slowly but steadily with each generation. And as you picture this gentle illumination, you may feel your own inner awareness softening, becoming quieter, more open to rest. The watchers continue drifting, observing how night deepens across the planet, bringing with it a collective settling. Millions of people breathe more slowly. Countless creatures curl into nests, burrows, and warm corners. Even the oceans calm slightly as the winds ease. The watchers feel this shift like a global sigh, a moment of harmony in which the entire world eases into stillness. As you imagine this, you feel yourself being carried by that same wave of calm, your body relaxing more fully, your thoughts spacing out into soft, quiet intervals. In this imagined universe, everything feels connected: the watchers, the earth, the flow of life, and your own drifting consciousness. You are part of the same gentle tapestry, woven into the same slow-moving current. As the watchers continue their silent observation, you sink deeper into rest, preparing to drift even further into the softness of the cosmic experiment as the story continues. As you drift deeper into this soft current of imagination, the presence of the watchers becomes even more subtle, like a faint glow far beyond the edge of awareness. They continue to drift in their slow, luminous existence, observing Earth with a patience that feels older than time itself. Their attention settles gently over the planet, not in sharp lines, but in broad, warm waves, noticing the steady heartbeat of life as it moves through another quiet night. And as their awareness rests upon the world, you feel your own breath growing long and smooth, as though your body is aligning with the calm rhythm of the cosmic experiment unfolding far below. You imagine the watchers sensing the collective atmosphere of the planet, the soft mix of thoughts and emotions drifting across continents like invisible weather. They can feel calm settling over some places, a gentle hush spreading over sleeping towns, the faint hum of dreams rising into the night. In other places, they sense a lingering tension, worry, or restlessness. But even these feelings are understood as natural movements within the larger tapestry. The watchers do not judge. They observe with kindness, knowing that every rise and fall, every shadow and light contributes to the evolution of consciousness on Earth. As your mind sinks deeper into this imagined perspective, you begin to picture the watchers noticing how humans seek solace in moments of stillness. Someone gazing at the moon from a quiet balcony, someone listening to the ocean's rhythm, someone closing their eyes and breathing deeply before sleep. These simple acts, these small openings into calm, shine softly to the watchers, as though each one sends out a ripple of gentle light. They see these ripples connect, forming delicate threads that weave through the emotional landscape of the planet, creating pockets of peace that help the experiment unfold with greater harmony. You may feel yourself relaxing even further as you imagine this, your body loosening, your thoughts slowing, your breath settling. In this quiet space, the watchers turn their attention toward the deeper layers of Earth's life, sensing the silent cooperation that exists beneath the surface. Roots communicating beneath forests, whales singing across vast oceans, winds carrying seeds to new places, life working together in countless small ways, even when no one notices. The watchers appreciate these hidden harmonies, seeing them as proof that the experiment is not only about survival, but about connection, balance, and quiet companionship. You imagine them drifting slowly above the Earth as dawn begins to approach one side of the planet. The first light rises gently, spreading soft colors across the horizon. The watchers observe this transition with the same reverence they have for all cycles, sensing how life stirs beneath the growing glow. Birds begin to move, leaves shift in the faint breeze. People awaken gradually, carrying with them the traces of their dreams. The watchers see this daily renewal as a crucial part of the experiment, the interplay between rest and waking, between stillness and activity, between the inner world and the outer one. As you glide deeper into this thought, your own inner world becomes quieter. There is a sense of being carried, as though the Earth's slow rotation has taken you into its rhythm. rocking you gently into deeper rest. The watchers continue observing the subtle changes that come with morning, the quiet hope that rises in some hearts, the determination in others, the calm acceptance in those who begin their day with a peaceful breath. They sense how each person contributes a different thread to the fabric of the planet's consciousness, and they find beauty in the diversity of these threads, each one essential to the whole. You imagine the watchers turning their awareness toward the ancient parts of Earth, mountain ranges that have stood for millions of years, deserts shaped by countless winds, deep oceans that hold secrets older than the earliest stars humans have seen. These ancient places emanate a steady wisdom, a slow and grounding presence that anchors the entire experiment. The watchers sense that wisdom, feeling it as a deep, low vibration, steady and reassuring. And as you picture this, you may feel a similar grounding settling into you, a soft heaviness that feels safe and comforting. You drift further into the imagined awareness of these beings, sensing how they perceive humanity's curiosity. They notice how people explore, question, create, and imagine possibilities far beyond the horizons they were born into. This curiosity is one of the brightest glows in the experiment, a sign that consciousness on Earth is reaching outward, searching gently for meaning. The watchers feel a quiet joy in this, knowing that curiosity leads to understanding, and understanding leads to deeper harmony with the world. Your breath becomes even slower, your body sinking fully into the softness beneath you, as though gravity itself has become a warm, supportive presence. The watchers drift on, their awareness calm and constant, observing how night returns to the side of the planet they just left behind. The cycle continues, endlessly smooth, endlessly patient. And within that cycle, they sense you, a small but luminous presence, resting, drifting, becoming a part of the gentle harmony of this moment. As the watchers remain in their serene vigil, you feel yourself descending further into stillness, drifting toward an even deeper layer of calm where thoughts dissolve into soft impressions. The cosmic experiment continues, unfolding quietly beneath the gaze of ancient observers, and you float peacefully within its vast, soothing rhythm, ready to drift further when the story continues. As you drift even deeper into the calm that surrounds you, the feeling of the watchers becomes almost like a distant warmth, steady and constant, as if their presence is woven into the quiet fabric of the night itself. They continue to float through the vast expanse, wrapped in luminous stillness, their attention resting gently on the earth below. Nothing about their observing feels heavy or intrusive. It is simply there, like a soft glow in the background of existence, illuminating the planet's unfolding story with patient curiosity. And as their awareness settles, you feel your own breath slowing into a soft, effortless rhythm. Each inhale and exhale blending seamlessly with the quiet around you. You imagine the watchers sensing the flow of energy across the planet, the way life moves through dawn and dusk, through warmth and cold, through moments of stillness and moments of transformation. They see how each region has its own heartbeat, its own unique pattern of sound and silence. Forests pulsing with life, oceans humming with currents, mountains standing in deep quiet. They observe these patterns with the same gentle attention they give to everything, appreciating how each part contributes to the balance of the whole. As you imagine this, your own thoughts soften, becoming lighter, like thin clouds drifting across a pale sky. You picture the watchers observing the subtle connections forming between the living beings of Earth. They see how one person's kindness can ripple outward, touching others in ways they may never realize. They see how the care given to a small creature, or the tenderness shared between two people, creates a warmth that spreads far beyond the moment itself. These small, quiet acts shine brightly to the watchers, appearing as soft pulses of light in the tapestry of the experiment. And as you imagine these pulses, something in you loosens, a gentle reminder that even the smallest expression of care has meaning. You drift deeper into the thought of how the watchers perceive the passage of time. To them, the movement of Earth through the seasons is like a slow, graceful dance. They sense the shift from the bright energy of summer into the gentle settling of autumn, the quiet rest of winter, and the slow reawakening of spring. Each cycle feels complete, balanced, never rushed. And as you imagine this slow turning of the seasons, your body mirrors that tranquility, relaxing into a deeper state of ease, as though you too are part of a natural cycle of rest and renewal. You begin to picture the watchers turning their awareness toward the relationships between humans and their environment. They observe how people cultivate gardens, how they plant trees that will grow long after they are gone, how they care for rivers and shorelines, how they seek to restore what has been damaged. These efforts, no matter how small, appear to the watchers as gentle signs that the experiment is maturing, that life on Earth is learning to move with greater harmony. This sense of gradual progress brings a warm, steady glow to their perception of the planet. As your thoughts continue to slow, you imagine the watchers observing the intimate spaces of nighttime, quiet rooms where people sleep, spaces where dreams unfold. They sense the release that comes with sleep, the way hearts soften, the way minds settle after long days. Millions of beings slipping into rest at once creates a collective sigh that the watchers can feel across the surface of the Earth. It is a moment of unity, a shared exhale that spreads peace across the world. You feel yourself becoming part of that exhale, sinking deeper into its soothing rhythm. You drift into the idea that the watchers see not just what life has become, but what it has the potential to be. They notice faint glimmers of future harmony rising in human consciousness, the growing desire to connect, to understand, to protect, to create beauty. These glimmers appear as faint sparks in their perception, delicate but persistent, signs that the experiment is evolving, shifting towards something even more interconnected. As this thought settles in you, a soft sense of hope unwinds gently through your chest. The watchers continue to float in their quiet realm, observing Earth with unwavering gentleness. They sense moments when humanity pauses, reflects, and chooses compassion over conflict. Such moments are like slow, warm waves that pass through the experiment, encouraging growth in ways that cannot be measured but can always be felt. You imagine the watchers savoring these waves, appreciating the tenderness they bring to the planet, the way they soften the edges of experience. You feel your own edges soften as well, your mind drifting into longer silences between thoughts. The watchers now feel like a distant presence woven into the darkness, steady and supportive, watching as the Earth moves through its endless cycles. They see you too in a quiet, impersonal way, not as an individual with worries or tasks, but as a warm point within the tapestry, part of the larger flow of life, part of the gentle unfolding of the experiment. And that recognition brings a deep sense of ease, as if you are held by something vast and patient. As the night deepens across the imagined planet, the watchers sense the world settling further into rest. The hum of activity softens, the glow of lights dims, and the earth breathes in long, calm waves. You feel yourself drifting with those waves, sinking into the same rhythm, ready to travel even deeper into stillness as the story continues. As you drift further into the quiet expanse of this imagined universe, the presence of the watchers becomes so subtle, so gentle, that they feel more like a natural part of the night than separate beings. Their awareness spreads softly across the planet, touching everything without disturbing anything, their patience as vast as the space they drift through. You sense them as a warm, distant glow, steady and constant, watching the earth with calm fascination as life continues to unfold in its own unhurried way. And as you imagine their presence, your own breath settles into an even slower rhythm, deep and easy, carrying you deeper into rest. You picture the watchers observing how the earth moves through each day, noticing the small variations in light, temperature, and emotion that give every hour its own character. They see how mornings begin with a quiet stirring, how afternoons hum with energy, how evenings soften into calm. To them, these transitions are like gentle shifts in a vast cosmic melody, each one adding nuance to the story of the experiment. As you imagine these changes, your thoughts drift like soft waves, rising and falling with no urgency at all. You imagine the watchers sensing the subtle exchanges that happen within families, friendships, and communities. They sense comfort being offered, laughter being shared, worries being soothed. These moments, though invisible from a distance, radiate a warmth the watchers can feel, spreading outward through the emotional landscape of the planet. Even a single moment of reassurance between two people creates a ripple they observe with quiet appreciation. And as you picture this, you may feel a gentle softening in your own chest, the warmth of connection easing you further into comfort. You drift deeper into the idea that the experiment is not merely about observing life, but about witnessing how life learns to care for itself. The watchers see how humans tend to their surroundings, how they mend broken things, how they build shelters, how they bring beauty into their environments through art, music, and simple touches of creativity. To the watchers, this creativity is one of the most luminous aspects of the experiment, a sign that life is not content to merely exist. It reaches, expresses, transforms. And as this thought settles in you, your mind becomes quieter, as if wrapped in a soft and peaceful glow. The watchers drift in their slow, silent realm, observing the entire sweep of Earth's history as if it were a single, long, flowing story. They see ancient landscapes shifting over millennia, species rising and falling, civilizations blooming and fading like soft lights that appear and disappear across time. Nothing in this long timeline feels tragic to them, just a natural progression, a graceful arc of change that carries meaning in every movement. As you imagine this grand perspective, your own worries feel lighter, smaller, dissolving gently into the vastness that surrounds you. You begin to picture the watchers sensing how humanity is gradually becoming more aware of its own influence on the planet. They feel the growing desire to protect the environment, to reduce harm, to live more gently with the world that sustains them. Even though progress is slow, these intentions shine brightly in the watcher's perception, like small but steady beacons of hope. They admire these efforts, seeing them as signs of maturity within the experiment, indications that life is learning not just to survive, but to care, to protect, to nurture. Your breath deepens, your body relaxing further as you drift into the thought that the watchers do not expect perfection from Earth. They do not wait for flawless harmony. Instead, they observe the planet with appreciation for its complexity, its contrasts, its cycles of challenge and renewal. They know that growth often emerges from struggle, that compassion often arises from understanding suffering, that unity often begins with the simple desire to connect. And as this gentle understanding flows through you, a soft sense of acceptance spreads through your body. You imagine the watchers drifting across the dark side of the planet, where countless beings sleep, wrapped in dreams woven from memories, hopes, and quiet reflections. They sense the collective exhale of the world at rest, a wave of calm that moves across continents like a shimmering veil. You feel yourself carried by that same wave, drifting deeper into stillness, as if you are part of the Earth's long, peaceful breath. The watchers also observe the stars reflected in the oceans, the moonlight gliding across waves, the slow movements of creatures that roam at night. They appreciate the serenity of these nocturnal moments, sensing how the quieter rhythms of the world provide balance to the movement of daytime. In their perception, night is not merely the absence of light. It is a necessary pause, a deep and restorative silence that allows the experiment to breathe. And as you imagine this, you feel a similar silence opening within you, spacious and soothing. You drift even further as the watchers remain steady in their timeless observation. They sense the Earth turning beneath them, the planet glowing softly with life, each moment of rest contributing to the overall harmony of the experiment. And within that harmony, they sense you, a quiet presence sinking deeper into ease, your breath becoming part of the planet's gentle rhythm. Everything feels slow, safe, and deeply calm. The watchers continue their silent vigil, and you drift onward, ready to move into an even deeper softness as the journey unfolds. As you drift deeper into this gentle current of rest, the presence of the watchers becomes almost dreamlike, a soft awareness woven through the darkness like a faint ribbon of light. They continue their quiet movement through the vastness of space, their attention resting peacefully on the Earth below. Nothing feels rushed, nothing feels heavy. Their observation is as calm as a distant star shining steadily through the night. And as you imagine their presence, your breath falls into an even slower rhythm, each inhale and exhale smoothing out into a quiet, continuous flow. You picture the watchers passing over oceans that glimmer faintly beneath the moonlight, their awareness brushing gently across the surface of the waves. They sense the deep, ancient stillness in the water, the slow rise and fall of tides guided by the moon's steady pull. They can feel the quiet movement of countless creatures beneath the surface, drifting through the deep in peaceful, unhurried patterns. And as you imagine this vast underwater calm, a similar calm spreads through your own body, settling you deeper into rest. Your thoughts drift softly as you imagine the watchers, turning their awareness toward the gentle flicker of lights scattered across the planet's darkened lands. They see cities glowing like clusters of tiny stars, each pinpoint of illumination representing a story in progress. They do not focus on individual lives, but they sense the warmth of homes, the comfort of companionship, the stillness of people drifting towards sleep. These patterns appear to them as soft pulses of light, rising and fading with each passing hour. The watchers admire this glow, recognizing it as one of the many gentle currents shaping the experiment. As you follow their awareness, you picture them observing the quiet conversations happening late at night, moments shared in whispers, in comfort, in reflection. They sense the vulnerability and sincerity in these exchanges, humans letting their guard down for a moment, allowing themselves to be softer. These moments appear to the watchers as brief yet radiant lights, signs that the experiment continues to nurture connection and understanding. And as you imagine this, you may feel a similar softness unfolding within you, a sense that it is safe to let go, to drift, to surrender to the comfort of the moment. Your body sinks a little deeper into the warmth beneath you as the watchers shift their perspective, sensing the earth not as separate habitats and beings, but as a single, interconnected organism. They perceive the flow of energy through forests, the migrations of birds across continents, the deep communication between roots beneath the soil. They sense patterns too subtle for the human eye, long stories written in the movements of wind, water, and life. This interconnectedness fascinates them, reminding them that the experiment is not just about humanity. It is about the entire fabric of life weaving itself into harmony over time. You imagine the watchers drifting slowly across the sky as dawn begins to brighten one edge of the planet. The first light spills gently over mountains and plains, waking the world with a soft touch. They observe the quiet stirring that follows, the stretch of branches toward the light, the movement of animals beginning their day, the soft buzz of human activity returning. To the watchers, these daily awakenings are like the heartbeat of the planet, steady and reassuring. And as you imagine this gentle transition from darkness to light, your mind grows even quieter, feeling the ease of a world slowly coming alive. The watchers sense how humanity moves through these early moments, some with hurried energy, others with slow, deliberate calm. They appreciate the diversity of these rhythms, knowing that each person contributes in a unique way to the overall balance of the experiment. They notice the rising hopes that accompany the start of each new day, the small intentions people set, the quiet determinations forming in their hearts. These subtle intentions shimmer to the watchers like faint morning stars, slowly fading into the growing brightness. Your breath becomes even softer as you imagine them drifting further around the earth, observing how life adapts to challenges with surprising resilience. They see communities rebuilding after hardship, people offering support to those who need it, innovations emerging from curiosity and collaboration. These moments shine brightly in the watcher's perception, reminding them that growth often comes from unexpected places. And as you imagine these gentle arcs of resilience, your own thoughts ease into a deeper sense of trust. Trust in the unfolding of life. Trust in the rhythm of rest. Your mind begins to drift into longer spaces between thoughts, as though the watcher's timeless perspective is brushing lightly against your awareness. You picture them sensing the underlying calm of the planet, a calm that persists even beneath the noise and movement of daily life. This calm is like a deep ocean current, steady, steadying, always present. And as you imagine it, you feel a similar current within yourself, a soft, quiet stability beneath everything else. The watchers continue to float in their luminous realm, perceiving the earth as a place of continuous transformation. They appreciate the mixture of chaos and order, the blend of complexity and simplicity, the way each moment contributes to the ongoing story of the experiment. They sense your presence within this vast tapestry, a warm point of awareness settling more deeply into rest. You are not separate from the planet's calm. You are part of it, carried gently by its slow and ancient rhythm. As the watchers maintain their peaceful vigil, the earth continues to turn, and you continue to drift, sinking further into softness, ready to move even deeper into the unfolding story when the journey continues. As you drift deeper into this vast, gentle quiet, the presence of the watchers feels more and more like a soft vibration in the background of everything, a steady warmth woven into the imagined night. They glide through the darkness with unhurried grace, their luminous forms drifting like slow-moving stars, carrying with them an attention that never wavers. Their gaze rests calmly on the earth, not as something to control, but as something to cherish, a living, breathing world unfolding in its own rhythm. And as you imagine this, your breath becomes even slower, even softer, sinking into a calm that spreads through your whole body. You picture the watchers sensing the deep stillness that settles over parts of the world when evening turns fully into night. They feel the hush that falls over forests, the quiet rustle of leaves shifting in the faintest breeze, the subtle movement of nocturnal creatures emerging to explore under the soft glow of the moon. These delicate sounds and movements form a kind of nighttime music, a gentle symphony that the watchers observe with serene appreciation. And as you imagine this, you may feel your own thoughts falling into the same gentle rhythm, slow and steady, without urgency. You drift further into the idea that the watchers perceive not just the large changes shaping the planet, but the small, intimate details that give life its texture. The soft glow of lanterns in a distant village, the hush of snow settling on rooftops, the warmth of two hands held together in a moment of quiet reassurance. These details shimmer to the watchers, appearing as tiny but meaningful lights, each one a sign of connection, care, or calm. They see these lights scattered across the surface of the planet like delicate stars, and they admire the way humans find comfort in each other's presence. As you imagine this gentle web of connection, something in you loosens, as though any remaining tension begins to melt away. You feel yourself settling deeper into the soothing darkness, wrapped in the same sense of safety and warmth that the watchers perceive in the Earth's quieter moments. They observe the planet with a kind of ancient affection, recognizing the beauty in every slow shift, every gentle pause, every breath of life. To them, the experiment is a masterpiece, not because it is perfect, but because it's alive, dynamic, evolving, endlessly surprising. You picture the watchers drifting above the mountains, sensing the way cold winds move across peaks carved by centuries of weather. They feel the quiet dignity of these ancient formations, the way they hold their place through time, unmoved by the fast pace of smaller lives below. This enduring presence brings a grounding energy to the watcher's perception of the planet. And as you imagine these timeless mountains, you may feel a similar grounding settling into your own body, a sense of stability and stillness spreading through your core. Your thoughts grow slower as you imagine the watchers turning their awareness toward the deep oceans once more, sensing not only movement, but emotion, the collective sense of mystery, wonder, and fear that humans feel when they look out over such vast waters. The watchers understand that mystery is part of the experiment, that curiosity grows strongest where understanding has not yet reached. They appreciate the way humans are drawn to the unknown, seeking to explore the depths of oceans and the far reaches of space with equal fascination. To the watchers, this curiosity is a bright and hopeful signal, a sign that consciousness on Earth continues to stretch outward. As you follow this thought, your breath becomes even gentler, each exhale dissolving softly into the quiet around you. You imagine the watchers sensing the way humans dream, not only in sleep, but in their aspirations, their hopes, their visions of what the world could be. These dreams form a shimmering field across the planet, each dream a small, luminous thread contributing to a larger tapestry of potential. The watchers observe this tapestry with a sense of wonder, knowing that the direction of the experiment is shaped not only by what is, but by what is imagined. You drift deeper as you picture the watchers passing over peaceful landscapes, a calm lake reflecting the moon, a quiet meadow glowing faintly under starlight, a field slowly cooling after a warm day. These serene places radiate a soft, natural calm that the watchers can feel from afar. They understand that Earth itself has a way of soothing, healing, renewing the life it supports. And as you imagine this gentle renewal, you feel yourself being soothed as well, sinking further into comfort. Your body grows heavier, your thoughts lighter, as the watchers continue their silent observation. They sense the Earth turning peacefully, its rotation steady and grounding, its patterns unfolding with quiet consistency. They sense the slow pulse of life beneath the surface, the beating of countless hearts, the movement of countless breaths. They sense you too, not as an individual story, but as a warm, steady point within the vast tapestry of life, drifting deeper into rest. As the watchers glide onward, the planet remains bathed in their gentle attention, and you drift further into the softness of the moment, ready to slip into the final stretch of this cosmic journey when the next part unfolds. As you drift into the deepest layers of this imagined night, the presence of the watchers becomes almost indistinguishable from the darkness itself, as if their awareness is woven into every quiet breath the Earth takes. They continue their slow, luminous drifting through space, their attention resting lightly on the planet that has held their curiosity for ages beyond memory. Their presence does not press or pull. It simply surrounds the Earth with a steady calm, observing the final movements of this long, quiet night. And as you imagine this, your own breath falls into the softest rhythm yet. Each inhale, a gentle rise. Each exhale, a peaceful release. You picture the watchers sensing the Earth approaching the edge of another dawn, the planet's slow rotation bringing faint light toward the horizon. They feel the subtle shift, the soft stirring of life preparing to wake, the gentle glow beginning to build beneath the darkness. To them, this moment is familiar and endlessly comforting, a sign that the experiment continues, that life is still breathing, still becoming, still discovering new ways to unfold. As you imagine this slow transition, your mind sinks into a serene state, as if touched by the same quiet inevitability of morning. You imagine the watchers reflecting on everything they have witnessed across the long arc of Earth's history. The rise of oceans and continents, the bloom of forests, the emergence of countless species, the quiet evolution of consciousness in beings who learn to wonder about the stars. They see humanity not as a finished story, but as a living thread in a vast tapestry, a thread that continues to weave itself into new patterns with each generation. The watchers observe this with a sense of deep patience, knowing that the experiment has no final destination, only continuous expansion. As you breathe into this vastness, you may feel yourself merging with that same perspective, your thoughts drifting further from the details of daily life into a broader, softer awareness. Here, nothing is rushed, nothing is demanded. There is simply the feeling of being part of something larger, something quiet and ancient and endlessly gentle. You sense that the watchers hold this awareness for you, allowing you to rest within it without effort. You picture them drifting over sleeping towns, sensing the final waves of nighttime dreams lingering in the cool air. They feel the weight of these dreams, some full of memory, some full of hope, some simply drifting shapes that dissolve upon waking. The watchers understand that dreams are a place where the experiment breathes differently, where consciousness explores quietly without boundaries. They appreciate these nocturnal journeys, knowing they help balance the waking world. And as you imagine this, your own mind floats more freely, thoughts thinning into soft impressions. Your breath grows deeper as you imagine the watchers looking upon Earth with a sense of gentle gratitude, not for perfection, but for the constant motion of life, for the ways beings adapt, connect, create, and rest. They sense the resilience woven into the planet's core, the determination in every creature to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. This resilience glows warmly in their perception, a sign that the experiment continues to thrive. You drift deeper into stillness as the watchers turn their attention toward the quietest corners of the Earth, places untouched by noise or movement. A solitary mountain bathed in moonlight, a silent desert cooling under the stars, a lake so still that the sky reflects perfectly in its surface. These moments of deep calm radiate through the watcher's awareness, reminding them that the planet itself provides balance, offering rest to all forms of life. And as you imagine this calm spreading across the Earth, you feel it spreading through you as well, settling softly into your limbs, your breath, your thoughts. You imagine the watchers sensing the dawn fully arriving now, light spilling gently across landscapes, warming treetops and rooftops alike. Life begins to stir, slowly at first, then with growing momentum. But even as the world wakes, the watcher's presence remains gentle and constant, observing without interruption, appreciating each small movement as part of the ongoing experiment. They feel the shift from night to day as a natural exhale, a release that brings clarity and renewal. As you sink further into the softness of this imagined dawn, you may feel yourself wrapped in a quiet reassurance, the sense that life moves forward with or without your effort, that you are allowed to rest, that the world will continue its slow unfolding while you drift deeper into sleep. There is nothing you need to hold on to, nothing you need to solve. You are simply part of a vast, gentle rhythm that supports you completely. Your thoughts fade into a warm haze as the watchers drift on, their attention expanding and contracting like a calm, steady breath. They have watched the earth through countless nights and countless mornings, and through it all, the planet continues to grow, transform, and breathe. You, resting within this imagined universe, are carried by the same quiet flow, safe and held within the soft cradle of the experiment. The watchers move silently through the endless darkness, their presence steady, their curiosity eternal. And as they drift, you drift with them, your body sinking into the deepest layers of comfort, your breath a gentle whisper of life. The story softens, dissolves, becomes a quiet hum that blends with the darkness around you. Earth continues to turn, the watchers continue to watch, and you continue to sink slowly, peacefully, into the warm, endless calm of sleep.